करने वाला हूँ।
इसके बाद बात करें। Namaskar. I'm Kumar Rakesh and you're watching Global Governance News TV. Today we're going to discuss ASEAN countries. ASEAN, the group of 10 countries. But now, in the new form of development, more developed countries has been added for this association. In 2014, the Modi government has been started the Act East, so the East Asia policy. So just if you see the numbers, the Myanmar, Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Brunei. This time the 16th East Asia Summit on 27th and 18th ASEAN meeting on 28th. So with these countries, USA, China, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea will also participate in this uh, meeting. For the India part, a very important meeting for development aspects, and PM Modi also attend virtually on this meeting on 28th, and invitation of the Sultan of Brunei. You'll also attend the 16th East Asia Summit to be held on 27 virtually, and all the head of states and government of the ASEAN countries will attend and submit review the status of ASEAN India strategic partnership and take stock of progress made in key areas include COVID-19 health, trade and commerce, connectivity, education and culture, according to Ministry of External Affairs of India said. This is important regional and international development, including the post-pandemic economic recovery, will be also discussed. ASEAN India summits are held annually and provide opportunities for India and ASEAN to engage at the highest level. The MEA statement said. The Prime Minister attended the 17th ASEAN India summit held virtually in November last year. 18th ASEAN India summit will be held. The 9th ASEAN India summit will be attended by him. The statement said the Prime Minister also attended the 16th East Asia Summit. This summit is the premier leaders led forum in the Indo-Pacific. Since its inception in 2005, it has been played a significant role in the strategic and geopolitical evolution of the East Asia. Apart from the 10 ASEAN member states, East Asia Summit include, as I told you, China, Japan, Republic of Korea, Australia, New Zealand, United States, and Russia also. At the 16th East Asia Summit, leaders will discuss the matter of regional and international interest and the concern, including maritime security, terrorism, COVID-19 cooperation. Leaders are also expected to accept declaration on mental health, economics recovery through tourism and green recovery, which are being co-sponsored by India, according to MEA. So we have just to welcome Mr. Alok Lahad from Spain for this European affairs, and Mr. Subodh Kumar from India on this Indian perspective with all ASEAN inputs. So I'll start from the Alok Lahad ji. So Alok ji, how just you analyze the roadmap of development with ASEAN countries, with developed countries, with India?
Good evening, Kumar Rakesh and fellow panelists, and also our viewers. And when Modi ji came to power, it was very clear, and he had very categorically said that India would be looking towards East. And look East policy, obviously, it means that we are talking about our neighbors, and we are also talking about the ASEAN countries. Now, the relationship with the neighbors started off on a very good foot. I mean, people coming for his pledging ceremony and all that. But it has been unfortunate that with the two major neighbors, we've not been able to continue the pace which we would have desired, both in the case of Pakistan and politically in case of China, although the trade between the two countries is into billions of dollars. Now, obviously, when we're looking at East policy, then What we are looking at are the ASEAN countries and also Japan, which you've already mentioned. And I presume that sooner or later Australia would be roped in because we also have a different kind of relationship with them, which is more military, and that is the quadrilateral. We have been talking, and we've done a program on that. And what is
Yeah.
interesting about these countries is they are small countries, and we have got excellent relationship with almost all of them. With Malaysia also, we had fantastic relationship. In fact, we were importing the palm oil from Malaysia, but somehow one of their prime ministers, like gave certain statements which
Hmm.
spoil the relationship. And now that he's gone, I think
Muhammad
the
Mahathir.
relationship,
Muhammad
even
Mahathir.
with yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Even the relationship with Malaysia should be back. Otherwise, we've got, if we talk about Vietnam, or we talk about Korea, or we talk about Brunei, or we can even talk about all the nations, Indonesia, Thailand. And in fact, I was reading this news that there is this plan to have a railroad which connects India with Thailand, which can also be a tremendous boost for
Yeah.
tourism. So
Yeah.
I think the cooperation is there, the will is there, and the philosophically also the countries are on the same track. So I don't think there is any standing back from side of India. I'm kind of surprised that we are not part of ASEAN already. We should have been part of ASEAN. We have been visiting them. We've got very good relationship with them. And I think this could be expanded and India could become an integral part of the ASEAN. It will be good for both the group, the ASEAN countries and also over to you.
Actually, just you started the how just going to be stronger for the trade and all. What agenda just you we just see that released by the maritime security very important in the Asian part due to the expansionist theory of China. Subodh Kumarji, how just you think the China should be part of this ASEAN meetings and just for sake of development, China has created many troubles for not for the India and other developing and developed country also.
Yes. China has created a problems with the ASEAN country, but uh, I'm coming to the point of the real crux of the problems. When the Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister of India, he started initiating the talks with the ASEAN countries. I think before that, the Rajiv Gandhi who visited the Myanmar uh, for some, no, sorry, the Narasimha Rao who started visiting the Myanmar, and then followed by the Atal Bihari Vajpayee and this. The problem is, like we didn't have the political relationship with Myanmar for a longer period of time, and at the same time, when the all the Gulf countries they are under the monarchy rule, we had a good relation with them. So it's an again I come to my own theory, the Tel Malis policy. In Tel Malis policy, they accepted the non-democratic government of the Islamic country, and they don't accept the this one the military rule in Junta rule in Myanmar, and that's deprived us because China has already a very good relation with the leadership of the Myanmar, and Myanmar is one of the important countries. Why do we opted the look east policy? The reason is I the reason is behind that our northeast development is it completely depending on the ASEAN countries look east policy because whatever the industry we set up in the northeastern part of the India, we can easily get the market in the ASEAN country and the for all these from the Narasimha Rao till today, this the Bajpayee, sorry, Bajpayee has also paid much more interest in took more interest in that, and followed by the Narendra Modi. He said, look at act policy, not look east policy,
Hmm.
look
Yeah.
act policy, and let's say it's a time to act upon that, right? And if we
No,
don't
no.
look at this
Act
one,
Act East policy.
Act East policy,
Ji,
and
yeah.
now we are planning to from the World Bank and Asian Development Bank. We need to construct the road from the Tripura Agartala to Singapore. It means all the connectivities, it will give the big market, and our dependency will be low from the Gulf countries and all. Because in a Gulf country, we are not getting the remittance, we are getting the only remittance with the supplying the manpower. But in these areas, we can sell our product and services. And these countries are very friendly countries. Maximum all these ASEAN countries are completely dominated by the Buddhist country, which our people will go and work very completely, and we can sell our products and services. So therefore, economically, it's a very viable. And looking towards this policy, that the government of India is planning to develop the 3-4, the embassies in the Guwahati, right? And there is already the Bangladesh embassy in Agartala. So look East policy is going to give us the potential.
Yeah.
And today our government is doing again repeating the same wrong things. We should have the good relation with the present military government rather than Aung San Suu Kyi. This is an internal matter of this one. Is India
No,
interfering
but
in the internal
there is with Myanmar, our relation is comparatively very good, Subodh.
No,
If you see
today because
except
of
China, if you see all the 10 countries, our relation is very good. And I think you see all the 10 countries and India and other countries also invited. So if you see the history and culture of the 10 countries, very, very similar to the India that is a Bharat. This is old ancient Hindus culture. You see the Cambodia, see the Indonesia, see the Malaysia.
Oh, this is not a dispute. They also accept it that traditionally.
You are right.
They don't have any. That's the reason. For us. It is in a culturally more secure feel to the working with them rather than going to the Gulf countries and the Arabian Peninsula. So this side is also the very potentially the big market for us, and we need to grab this market. And for that what we need, that our Northeast India will become very prosperous. We don't need we don't need any support for the Northeastern from the Tamil Nadu, from UP, from Bihar. So the Assam, Tripura, it will become very prosperous state, right? And eventually we will get the dividend. And
so just a time to break, and after break I'll just I take your inputs. After break I'll just meet again. Thank you. Welcome after break. Now, just Subodh Kumar, you were saying about the just cultural history and just how the business has been going to develop between all countries. Alok, Lahad, with the European perspective, if you see the ASEAN countries and the relation of European countries with reference to India, how do you analyze?
Well, ASEAN countries as such, Europe has got cordial relationships with most of them. I think instead of talking more about the European ASEAN countries relationship, what is more interesting is in taking away from what Subodh said. I mean, we have to also analyze that all these countries, first of all, they are land, linked with India, which is very important. And in case of Myanmar, till the time the military junta was there, it was in there was some kind of conflict with India, because then they were following the communist thing. And after democracy returns, like right now, the situation is slightly volatile, but I think this will, settle down in a couple of months' time. And then again, if India has been supporting democracy there, and not only this, we've also militarily helped them when they were facing some terrorist problem. In fact, the first overseas strike which was made was in Myanmar only, which was, which we didn't hype it up, which was very good. And I think the relationship, and one thing which I like to differ from Subodh is, he's mentioned that relationship with Bangladesh. Bangladesh relationship is cordial only. Only some incidents have taken place, and it is not a government to government kind of a dealing. It is more like the religious groups which are protesting. And
Mr. Lahad,
so
I
I
didn't
would
raise it.
give it
No,
more
no, no.
fire.
Please,
There has
I
been
didn't raise
some,
it.
of fine,
Alok ji,
things which
Alok
the
ji,
government could have said, but that's not
Alok
really
ji,
important. You have to play to the domestic politics of the two countries as well. But I think with Bangladesh, we have a cordial relationship and which will continue. And what is important is that,
no, Alok ji, I
we
need your
are linked with all these countries and we've got
attention,
tremendous relationship with that.
Alok ji,
Alok
Subodh
ji, I
ji,
need,
And on top of it, these
Alok ji, I
Alok ji,
need your
countries are
attention.
present in the South China Sea.
Excuse me, Alok ji, I need your
Now,
attention.
in South China
I,
Sea, what is interesting is,
Alok ji, Subodh
can
ji,
you hear
something has
me?
to put in. No, Subodh ji, something to add and whatever, something point about your whatever statement just you made. Subodh ji.
Alok ji, I didn't make a comment about the Bangladesh. I give a reference with the Myanmar. Because of the Aung San Suu Kyi, we had spoiled the relationship for a longer period of time with the Myanmar. And
Okay.
and today, when the Aung San Suu Kyi came to power, then we started the relationship with the Myanmar. Today we are not having a good relationship because Aung San Suu Kyi is out of the power. So the
Yeah,
military
okay.
now
Actually,
the
some confusion may be there. Actually, some network
yeah.
problem. So he's welcome Vandana ji from the Chicago, the senior journalist.
Welcome,
Vandana
Vandana
ji,
ji.
yeah. Unmute yourself, Vandana ji, please.
I said, first of all, I apologize for being delayed.
No
And
problem. No problem.
namaskar.
Yes. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Please. So actually, just we are discussing about the ASEAN-India relationship and the two meetings going to be held on 27th and 28th. One is the East Asia policy meeting on 16th, and another is 18th meeting on ASEAN-India summit. And in that meeting, US is also participating. US, China, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, including the 10 countries of ASEAN as we know it. So, how do you think this the USA role just in the ASEAN countries for the perspective of development?
See why this development has happened when you talk about it, because when you see the original ASEAN countries, India was not part of it, so was US also. But
Yeah.
now bringing them, because these are the small, like ASEANs as a group of small nations, like, and they
Yeah.
have kept Myanmar out of it. So there is
Yeah.
a clear,
Myanmar, Bangladesh, and Pakistan.
yeah.
Or
So
yeah.
there's a clear indication, like,
Yeah.
so we don't have any room for any nonsense, to be honest.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
yeah. So it is because nowadays the alliances which are going to come and their focus, what we will see, it is more for the democratic, and it should be. It should be, because it is a need of today's time. You cannot have my way or no way kind of thing, like, the world as being changing. So when we talk about, we just saw that just last month it was very talk of the means the globe quad talks, like, because the center of attraction is in that very area right now, means, and which is very crucial for India to participate, because India has so many neighboring countries, those who are part of it, and India can definitely play a key role. And US, why US being there? Because US cannot be ignored, to be honest, as people say that being the powerful nation on the globe. So, but this is a time for them to show the real power, not the real power, to be honest. Take some
Yeah.
acts under the new government. That's what I
Yeah.
just want to add on.
So nice of you, Vandana. Subodh, just your role when ASEAN formed, as Vandana said, India was not part of that. Now India will come after 2003, I think. Seriously, and the sign MOU. This is a area of 650 million people of the 10 countries, and plus you see the population of India and other. Now USA also part of that. China, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea. This is a different group. They are all invited, not the permanent member. What is the role of these countries, you say, in the part of the development of the ASEAN countries? There's USA,
No,
Japan, Australia,
they,
New Zealand, and South Korea. Yeah,
see, I'll tell you.
yeah,
When the SARC was developed, it was in a big challenge for the China because China was not included into the SARC country. India
yeah,
was playing the very important role, and India is the greatest funder of the SARC country. right? That is the time of the era of the tail malish. Like in a
Please don't watch this like the
appeasing.
tail malice.
No, no,
In
no.
English, this is not
So
suit like that. Please,
okay. So it's
you
an
can you
ego
can say
massage.
while
Ego massage.
no, sir. Ego
It's an
massage.
Americans, they can understand
You can use a. I think
ego massage,
no, sir. Just
appeasement,
greasing type. Greasing appeasement,
appeasement,
whatever you say.
Appeasement,
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 appeasement.
appeasement.
Yeah.
So India was under the Congress rule. It's completely under the influence of the appeasement policy of
Yeah.
the it's Arabian
With vested
Peninsula.
interest. With vested interest.
No,
Not the country
Arabian
interest.
Peninsula, Arabian Peninsula, and
Yeah.
it was India was getting the revenue also, remittances also from there. So in this, the China, and then we didn't have the good relation with the Myanmar, and Myanmar is one of the most important country in this subcontinent in Asia,
Yeah.
and the ASEAN, and it was under the
Now we are
military
connecting from India, Myanmar, Thailand. This is all connecting the ASEAN from the
connected,
roadways now.
connected.
Yeah,
Yes,
already connected.
yes. So we had a good relationship. Myanmar was a part of the India till 1936. It was bifurcated by the Britishers in the 1936. The last viceroy of the India, he was before coming to India, he was the viceroy of the Myanmar one, right? And this Arunachal Pradesh was a part of the Myanmar. It was bifurcated and it was handed over to India. And the bifurcation, it went to the another.
That is a part of history
So
now. But now actually, just
part
we
of
are
the
going
history.
to
I'm coming to the point of the same thing. Like we deprived ourselves for the 40 to 40, 50 years along with the Myanmar without having the diplomatic relation. Means so this is the biggest hurdle. When Aung San Suu Kyi came to power, and then we established the relationship with the Myanmar. This is the biggest mistake. Now today the Myanmar is facing the problem, right? What is the problem? The Rohingya.
But we are not discussing Myanmar, Subodhji.
No. I'm just coming. The Myanmar is an important. In SARC, India is very important.
But we're not discussing SARC. We're not discussing Myanmar. We're discussing ASEAN countries. Subodhji, that is the agenda. We should discuss on the agenda actually. This agenda is the maritime security, terrorism, COVID-19 cooperation, and mental health, economic recovery through tourism, and green recovery. These are the issues to be discussed. So we should focus on that.
ASEAN countries is a very, very important, the strategic important country for us to do the lot of business and develop the northeastern part of the India, which is the largely constitute the bigger chunk of the northeastern. Now, if you look at the size and the inclusion, then I can say even the West Bengal, some extent the Bihar, Assam, and or the northeastern state. These areas will be highly developed if you have the good relation with the ASEAN countries, because from there they have the very approximate distance, like from the Kolkata to the Myanmar, it's only 1.5 hour flight journey. So that's the reason, and India has not been into the included because of the present military government is not very secure, because we are still rattling the same Aung San Suu Kyi, right? So that should be that is not going to happen. We have to rethink the foreign policy regarding the ASEAN country now. But these ASEAN countries, they are this time they're taking us very positively. They are hoping towards the Modi ji, and Modi ji has found the solutions when he was traveling to China, and all of a sudden he decided to get down in the Myanmar and he talked to Aung San Suu Kyi on the issues of the Rohingya, right? And he promised that I'll help you if whatever the kind of the problems you are facing. And all these two countries, the United States of America and England, they were trying to make the more of the human rights issues and put their policy in this one. And on this issue, India and China had the same policy and same understanding about the issues of the Myanmar. Now the Myanmar is going to play the very important, and we need should be the part of the one road and one belt. This the India is also the initiating this one. India is playing the very important role to have the road from Agartala to Myanmar. Already the road is under the construction going on, and Myanmar government is very positive. When we wanted to operate in Nagaland insurgency, then the Myanmar government, they gave the space and time and said, if you want to enter into the Myanmar and flush out all these terrorists, the Muiva group and the NCN group. You can do it. You can. They invited us and they gave the space for us, and then the Indian government has operated from there. So it's a very cooperative, and we have to take care of them, and we should be the integral part of that strategy, and we should take the membership, we should join them, we should fund them. This is a historical responsibility for us, because we cannot depend for a longer period of time on the Arabic Peninsula, because they are not going to be very helpful. They are only depending on the मेरा संडास साफ करो और हंडास साफ करो. बोलता है कि अस्सलाम वालेकुम. बोला okay, that's a different, but let's first clean my sandas, right? So our people are going to clean the sandas in the Saudi Arabia and all.
Not like that. Not like that. That was the old phenomenon. Now the more IT people and other are there, so we should not say like that. Vandana ji.
ITP.
Vandana ji. Just if you see the trade part, the signing of the ASEAN-India trade in the goods agreement paved the way for the creation of one of the world's largest FTA, and the market of among 1.8 billion people with a combined GDP of US $2.8 trillion. The ASEAN-India FTA will see the tariff liberalization over 90% product trade between the two dynamic regions. So it includes a special product. And so as we know, the palm oil from Malaysia, crude and refined, coffee, black tea and paper, and 4,000 products line. So how do you see that this trade between the ASEAN, India, including the USA also, how you see the role of USA?
It is very crucial, to be very honest, because when we are talking about, if we don't set up the new parameters, and we live on the old, which has already been set, because everything fades with the period of time, to be honest. We do need to have new partners, new strategies, and new policies, reforms. This is what it's called. Like you may have something like within a nation itself, and then go beyond the nations. What India is producing and the other nation may not have it. So how do we do the collaboration? It is the need to have a most beautiful, because ultimately, no matter what, because when you remember, we did a show, means like when we were talking about, like, there are some group of people, the diaspora, when they played about the vaccines from America to India, and like how many vaccines, because it's been wasted here. I'm being very honest with you. But this was not distributed. But on the contrary, India has already crossed 1 billion. I mean, like, without, because it was just a handful. So when India is right now in a position to help the other nations, and when this pandemic is not yet over, people have to realize that. And because the impact of it is not only that you are getting sick, you will be much more sick in the coming years, aftermath of it, to be very honest. Let this be a mental health issue. Let this be supply chains. This is never ending thing right now, because we are thinking that we have closed the door. You started seeing people are celebrating, but this is very temporary phase. What all is coming, the impact of it is going to be. So then we do need these kind of small countries, those who are able to, because we did discuss, like, the nation like in Bangladesh, there are so many industries which has been run by the Indians. They own the Indian companies, like a people, those who own. So that is that we can utilize, like how America utilized India for the manpower. America utilized China for manufacturing. Now it's a table has to turn over that India can also use from the manufacturing, like making some portions to them, some partnership, some alliance. And how will that work? To seeing means how much is the capacity of this particular nation, the people, what they can do. So those will come handy, and that will definitely be, because ultimately it is all the dollar game, to be honest. It's all the money.
So, matter of money in the trade. So nice, Vandana. So Subodh, there is so many fronts already open for Indian ASEAN relation, and the 25th anniversary relation, and the 25 years of dialogue partnership already. If you see like that, and last year, and mission to ASEAN set up the separate mission in ES Jakarta in April to, to, 2015 with the dedicated ambassador to strengthen engagement with ASEAN and ASEAN-centric processes. So this is efforts of the Modi government and the plans of action and the political security cooperation and the economic cooperation, socio-cultural cooperation and the connectivity funds and ASEAN India Cooperation Fund has been announced and created. And ASEAN India and ST Development, ASEAN India Green Fund, ASEAN India projects of the development projects. So apart from the above project, India is supporting ASEAN, especially the CLMB countries under the initiatives for the ASEAN integration, which include the projects on the training of English language for the law enforcement officers in the CLMB countries and the training of professionals dealing with the capital market in CLMB, in the agriculture and already centers. A commemorative summit held at 2012, but now it's going to be developed. So many things are going to in the path of the development. How do you analyze the all? Do you think this is the proper coordination is going on, and something the lapses in bureaucracy, and that's just for due to lapses of bureaucracy and coordination, some the development work has hampered?
No, the bureaucracy has its own rule and regulations. That cannot be the reduced, because in every country the bureaucracy is a necessary evil, right? It's not an unnecessary evil. We have to, we can protect that. The question is that these developments will, alienate the China from the dominance of the ASEAN country. It's very important for us because the China shares the maximum border with the Myanmar, right? In all these countries.
Sir, you're coming to Myanmar. I'm coming to
another.
Sir, my aspect.
I'm coming to the Vietnam. I'm coming to the Vietnam.
Please, sir.
Now, China has already.
I just need your answer from the why China in the ASEAN. This is a construction of the constructive way, number one, and how you see the role of China just to the regard of development, because China just only do own businesses, just only the vested interests, not for the sake of development of any countries. Why don't all ASEAN countries discarded the China, just as the Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar is not member of ASEAN? What do you think on that?
No, this is not possible. The reason is not possible for that because China has invested the money for the construction of the road inside from the Agartala to Singapore, right? First of all, for some kind of the differences with the arm twisting with the China on the border disputes, let's not misunderstood the role of the China and India, because then at the end India and China they shares the $115 billion business with each other, right? It's India is
but last 3-4 years the business is decreasing, sir, from the both of
decreasing. That's all. But it's not possible for anybody because China has emerged as the biggest manufacturing hub. China is also the necessary evil in the world today. America, they wanted to do that, but it's not. So now looking at this, we cannot change the scenario. We are the member of the Shanghai Cooperation. We are also the member, and Shanghai Cooperation
is
funding the ASEAN country. Then India is also the member of the BRICS country and the development project. So India is and India and China in this case they have to, but India can only alienate the China on the issues of having the very close relationship with the ASEAN countries, because in the maximum ASEAN countries they share their border with the China, right? Now I'm coming to the point, in ASEAN countries already contradiction is there. China has already had a war with the Vietnam. So the Vietnam and China is not having the very cordial relation. Vietnam always doubt on the integrity of the China, and that is the reason the Vietnam has invited
with
India
Hong Kong too. The Hong Kong is still burning.
No, Hong Kong is an integral part of the China. You cannot do it. The whole Chinese military is over there. So nothing, Macau and Hong Kong you cannot. But Vietnam is a sovereign country, and India has given this BrahMos to Vietnam, India is having the helping the Vietnam for excavations of the drilling the oil from the sea, and the ONGC already has taken this project. So
Okay.
we have to this. That's the reason when Modi, after becoming a prime minister, he traveled all the ASEAN countries first, because he wanted to first make the circular of the China. So in circle the China, all these countries, he established a very good relation with that. So it's the China is in a love and affection,
Yeah.
hate and love relationship.
But I don't know why
We,
just a very simple and very balanced word using for the China. I could not get it.
no,
Vandana ji, I'm talking about the agenda.
no,
Just to agenda of
see
the
the Vandana
tomorrow and
Ji is from the United States of America. The
yeah.
two presidents, Donald Trump and the Biden, both Donald Trump was dead against the China. He wanted to renegotiate the business, and the Biden, he promised something else with the China, because they
No,
have
that's
created
already
a manufacturing.
already from the 90 days committee. That's you say. So, Vandana ji, how just you see the present government of United States, Joe Biden government, with the role of developing ASEAN as well as the agenda. I'm just talking. We should think on that, terrorism, COVID-19 cooperation. Very important issue now is the last 2 years, and something all are expected for the some declaration of the mental health and economic recovery through tourism and green recovery. Very important issue for the growth of economy. How do you analyze that?
As before I came on a debate, I just mentioned to you personally, I was talking the kids, those who are born during the pandemic time, we will just be seeing we are sitting on a silent bomb, to be honest. It started
Yes.
exploding now because there is so much mental health issues which will be popping up, because we still have, because they were very little.
Yeah.
I don't, because cannot divulge, the kids, they don't even know, because no going out, nothing, no
Yeah.
socialization, no schools, and everything online. But then diversion from online, because they were supposed to go, the older kids, they were supposed to do school homeworks online, but there are different pop-ups. We all know that, because there is still not, when we have talking about the cyber security, in case if you are searching for something on internet today, you will start seeing those kind of ads, because they track your IP addresses. So those kind of very lucrative things that kids also fall for, playing games and stuff like that. Coming back to the role of United States, that your question, it is very, very crucial right now, because when we talking, I always stress on that, these alliances, when they are in making, they do have a mission. Because right now, when India crossed 1 billion, it is talk of the world, to be honest. And I
Yeah.
must say, beyond globe, to be honest, like, let's put it this way, because what they were talking about, India, within India, the anti-national elements, what they were talking, so they are also surprised. We have to take a confidence, and India and US like has to be, because there is one thing for us to remember, that the US, because on our main policies, even if it's a Republican or the Democrat government, so if it is a national interest that comes in, so we are seeing some bending towards China. But like, on the contrary, you have seen the same Biden administration has put like a question mark, that we need to know about the China and the Wuhan virus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
So the trade has to, because it is, I am just saying, we have not, please quote that in parenthesis, we have not in real sense has faced the aftermath of pandemic. Abhi to shuruaat bhi nahi hui hai. It is not yet the beginning, because
Yeah.
the industries, those who are getting affected on the ground, what I'm talking about, because the material that they are waiting for to manufacturing, like, the raw material, the parts, there is no supply. So then what is happening? Because our shelves are empty, we are not getting the products. Then what happens? There are not products being manufactured. So there is this is
Yeah.
like, you are not able to see with the naked eyes, but if you do, like, microscopic eyes, it is
Yeah.
visible, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a big
I
alarm
know.
for the
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
Yeah. So nice of you, all of them. Just Mr. Alok, Lahad, and Vandana ji and Subodh ji, just to participate in this. So just we are thinking on the 27th and 28th, the 2-day meeting, very hectic meeting from the all ASEAN countries into the America, China, Korea, Japan, New Zealand, and with the perspective of development and just how to cope with the COVID and for the tourism, economic recovery, and the terrorism, and so many important issues. And that should be this type of meeting helps just to uh, uh, keep the countries with the peace and with the development for the sake of the nation and for the sake of humanity. I think we hope and expect our Prime Minister Narendra Modi also with the good deliberation for the what expectation about the issues just about the terrorism and the COVID-19 cooperation and acceptance declaration of mental health, very important issues for and economic recovery through terrorism and green recovery. These are the all important issues should be come with the all the solid result for the implementation for society. Thank you very much and hope for the best for the all ASEAN, India and other countries meeting the Act East policy to should be more strengthened as per vision of our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. And thanks to all. So nice of you just participate in this program and just to see, subscribe and share the Global Governance News TV. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.